Hey guys, my next guest for the 10th annual Asians on Film Festival of Shorts 2021 is calling all the way from Guam. This is our director of the Plastic Bag film, and this is Brian Muna. Brian, hey, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to have our film screened.
It's our pleasure, and thank you again for calling all the way from Guam. That's definitely not our backyard in LA.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of a distance.
So, your film Plastic Bag, it's emotional, it's dark, it's sad, but I know there's some happiness in it. And it's about a young couple's
Mhm.
relationship that they're tested when they're faced with a very interesting obstacle. Can you expand on that? What's your film about?
So the basically the couple in the film, what I wanted to kind of portray with Plastic Bag was how love and just being so close together, almost to the point of infatuation.
Mhm.
Um, could kind of hinder someone's judgment, but also have, I guess, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. So is
Yeah.
the plastic bag the hindrance, or is it a
Mhm.
symbol of hindrance? Because we do see the love, we do see the connection, and you played a little with a cliffhanger effect.
Uh-huh.
You also played a little with the opening and closing scene, but you were talking about hindrance. If you can expand on that.
So there's definitely a health issue that the one of our characters is going through, and that becomes kind of like the sets the stage for our couple to kind of really just see where their morals are at. You see our character, our male lead, having an issue and struggling with a decision that he has to make,
Mhm.
that his girlfriend is asking him to do.
Mhm.
So the hindrance is the health issue. We don't really go into what the health issue is. We did kind of meet with some health officials about what that particular health issue could be, but I
Mhm.
kind of didn't want to label it, just to kind of keep it this mystery of what's affecting their relationship in a physical way, but also challenging them emotionally with each other.
Mhm.
So it's such a short film to really kind of dive in deep to what really each one was thinking at
Okay.
that moment. But I like to imagine that it's something like it's, you know once it takes hold of you, this health issue, it it really just kind of clouds your judgment. But at the same time, what are you willing to do for love? And I read a couple of articles on issues. One of the most recent one was maybe like a couple of years ago, where an elder gentleman kind of performed, euthanasia or assisted suicide,
Okay.
um, for his wife, and now he's being charged for murder. And so kind of like that's the area that I wanted to explore with the film.
Okay. So are you saying that Natalie and Tim, this is the boyfriend girlfriend, the couple, are you saying both of them had issues? Because we know that Natalie had one. She was sick, she was hospitalized, but it was for more of a physical condition. Are you saying that there was a second medical issue, that it could be more mental and psychological? Because that's news to me. After watching the film, I only thought we saw her getting sick and
Mhm.
her having her bouts of sickness. But is there another issue
I
you're
you
seeing?
know I think the issue isn't another health issue for Tim, but I could see how, just mentally, just the situation he was placed in could kind of put pressure on his moral judgment.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
he was
know,
fighting it.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, so he's fighting it, and then if an audience member were to watch it, they would, the biggest question would be, what would I do in that situation?
Okay.
Would I go ask for help? Could I go get could I talk to a friend about it? but it became this almost this, you know, it's not really established in the film, but it became almost this secret conversation with each other. Obviously, no one's going to know about it. We're assuming
Right.
that it's illegal in most areas. So just the question alone of, you know, will you do this for me? You know, we never really asked the question, you know, in the film. It's more just implied that she's wanting um, him to perform something for her out of love, and he's having a difficult time because his definition of love might be different. Of course,
Yeah.
you know, you never really think of doing that for someone you
Yep.
love, but that's something that I want to portray: is how far are you willing to go for love,
Wow.
and is it the right thing?
Wow, that is not, and you mentioned that recent article that you read with those approaches, and I am blown away. I did not think you would have taken it that far. So
Yeah.
with all these items laid out on the table, after reading your article, after asking us, how much do you really love someone, but you don't want to, even though the other person wants you to
Yeah.
carry out this act, what can you tell us? What is the message? What is the, or maybe kind of you have an advocate message instead?
You know, for me, the whole conversation of this film started back in college, right?
Hmm.
There was a debate paper that I had to write, and it was, you know, what is your position in euthanasia? And very black and white, I would have immediately said, oh, you know, I'm against it. I'm against assisted suicide. But then when you start, uh, when the question was asked more with, this is the symptoms of somebody, they're suffering and all this stuff, it became really hard and it put me in a very gray area. So what I wanted to do was kind of put the audience in a very gray area, because we're so used to thinking very black and white when it comes to decisions. It's very easy, you know, if anyone read that article on assisted suicide with the elder gentleman, and now he's going through this criminal charge
Yeah.
very late in the game, but he did something out of love. Um, it's very easy for us to judge that that's the wrong thing to do. But if you were in that actual situation, which I hope the film kind of puts you in, what is the dialogue that you would have with yourself?
Wow.
You know, would you be sitting next to your girlfriend or your wife while watching the film and say, you know, I'm willing to do that for you, but is that a messed up thing to say? And so, you know, in one of the festivals that, you know, because the film could be very offensive, right? It could come off pretty offensive to some people who watch it. And I was really worried because in one of the festivals where we had a live screening, and I was actually able to go up and do the Q&A, um, there was a young woman that was waiting for me outside.
Uh-oh.
And you know, she kept giving me this look like she was waiting for me after I was shaking hands and having conversations with people. She waited patiently at the entrance of the theater. And when I finally got to her, you know, she thanked me because there were two of her friends committed suicide that year, and it put her in a really harsh position with her friends, because she was really upset with them for their decision. But she
Oh,
kind of mentioned that the film kind of opened her eyes a little bit to the mindset of what could be going on um, internally, and maybe just within people surrounding whatever issues they might have. You know, there's a lack of understanding in judgment when it comes to mental health. You know, there's a lack of um, information on what goes on inside a person's mind. And that's kind of where I wanted to put the audience. You
well,
know,
you
we do.
definitely accomplished that. And then the way you just laid out everything is exactly how your film is. It's thorough, but it makes you guess and it forces you to think. So thanks for just kind of explaining that. Hey, folks, if you'd like to watch this very, very insightful film, please check us out. The link is in our bio. Subscribe, like, share. We thank you for your support. We also thank Brian calling all the way from Guam for his film, Plastic Bag. Brian, I wish we had more time, but I really appreciate you uh, explaining and dissecting everything. Thank you
Thank
again,
you
Brian.
so much. All right.